Western Mass News 11 at 11.
It's been nearly 3 weeks since an innocent bystander was shot and killed at the Holyoke Mall, and now one local billiards room is hosting a benefit tournament in his honor. Thanks everyone for joining us on this Friday, and welcome to Western Mass News 11 at 11. I'm Chris Pisano. Western Mass News reporter Maria Wilson joining us live in studio now with more on this local fundraiser. Maria.
Chris, I spoke with one of the organizers of the event, and they tell me that they are grateful for the community who's come together as family and friends of Michael Trang continue to mourn his death.
We knew right away that we needed to do something to help this family. It was the right thing to do. This tragedy really hits all of us deeply.
Tom Lucchese is the co-owner of Ivory Billiards in Holyoke and co-organizer of the upcoming benefit tournament for Michael Trang. The innocent bystander was shot and killed on January 28th after Kenneth Santana Rodriguez allegedly opened fire at the Touch of Beauty nail and hair salon, where Trang had worked for years. Trang was giving a pedicure to Santana Rodriguez's girlfriend at the time of the shooting. The 33-year-old left behind a wife and son, and to help them, the New England chapter of American Pool Association is hosting a benefit tournament on Saturday at Ivory Billiards in Holyoke. Western Mass News spoke with Kelly Hall, who is one of the organizers. She told us she was one of Trang's customers at the nail salon where the shooting took place.
He was a wonderful person. I say to everyone, if you knew Michael, you'd be very impressed. He's 33 years old. He was very diligent and worked really hard, and he was all about his family.
It's hoped that Saturday's fundraiser will bring in thousands of dollars for Trang's family, with more than 100 people already signed up and the expectation that it will sell out. Lucchese tells Western Mass News he's grateful for the way that the community has stepped in to help Trang's family heal from this tragedy.
The outreach, the response from the Western Mass community, the business community, has been amazing, as well as that of our pool playing community.
Lucchese tells me tomorrow's event is expected to be the biggest fundraiser they've hosted at Ivory Billiards. There is a $25 entry fee for tomorrow's event, which is set to start at 11 a.m. For more information, you can head on over to our website, westernmassnews.com. Reporting live in studio, Maria Wilson, Western Mass News.